Hello and welcome to Ways to Change the World. I'm Krishnan Guru-Murthy, and this is the podcast in which we talk to extraordinary people about the big ideas in their lives and the events that have helped shape them. We're on location in a cinema at the Barbican Theatre in London because my guest is performing here later on this year. He is the extraordinary Senegalese singer and guitarist Baaba Maal. And you may know him simply as the soaring voice from Black Panther, or you may know his music more deeply, but he is revered in Senegal, not just as a musician, but as an ambassador, a leader. He is an activist, a philanthropist. He's involved in climate change and desertification and education. And there are many things to talk to you about. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Because you also have a new album after many years, Being,
yes.
Which is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And very moving. And the thing that is extraordinary for Western ears is that we don't know what it means. You know? But there is great meaning in your music as well, isn't there?
It's just being. Just play music, write music, from your experiences of life, you know. And you have to just to live, to breathe, and to be, and to look around you, and to take notice of everything, chat with your friends, musicians, and write songs about all these issues, you know, that matters everyone. But it's all leading just to be happy and to be living in happiness together.
Can you tell me about the language that you sing in?
I am singing mostly in Fulani, the language of the Fulanese people from 14 or maybe 17 countries in Africa. This language, people speak this language. And also a little bit of Mandinka, a little bit of Wolof. And I invited also some people who come from different countries, someone like Essa who come from Malawi. Just because of the topics that we're talking about. One of them is the social media. I think from the first song till the last song, the thing that connects all the songs together is the impact of social media, how we're going to use it in our life. And it's very good for Africa to have the social media because it brings people together. Even the ones who are forced to go to be immigrants because nothing is behind them. They're going to Spain or France or somewhere else. But they have to be concerned about what's happening in their communities, in their villages, in every day. And they use social media to participate, to send money, to say their opinions, to give advices to people. It's all of that, you know. And all of that comes into being.
That's a very interesting take on social media because social media in the West is increasingly hated and seen as a bad thing.
Yeah, because in the song Freak Out, for example, I say social media is good. Because we used to have, in even a small village in Africa, we used to have a place in the middle of the village where every night people will come after dinner just to come to sit down and to talk. The young ones, this is where they learn new things. But the older ones, this is where they come and just give advice to the young ones. And the next day you exchange this news with your friends, your parents, or some other people. And this is how people are get informed about what's happening, what to do, what to respond to any kind of thing. But you know, people moved because of climate change, because of desertification, because of wars and diseases and many problems to make people move in the big cities. And they went away from this small place in the village just where they get informed. Now with social media, for example, you can be in New York, in Paris, every night when you finish your work, you are there and you are connected to your people. And you can exchange about what did happen in the day and how do you going to face it. And even when your parents, did they agriculture, they have some crops, they want to sell it. You can't give advice about the price, about everything. It makes it easy for people. It used to be happening in the village. Now it's happening in the platforms of social media.
All around the world.
All around the world. It's good. But what people have to be careful, because it's so easy to put the news on it. We need to know what news we're going to put in it, or the way we'll destroy the harmony between the families.
Do you worry that social media is feeding the conflict in the Sahel?
I'm sure.
Because of misinformation?
I'm sure it's feeding it. I think we should be really, really careful if we want to keep the harmony between African communities who have been living in harmony together since thousands of years.
What is the role of your music then in taking these messages?
Not just my music, but the music of all these musicians who come from West Africa. We became musicians because of our talent, of course, but also we became musicians because we have been trained to be musicians, and we are called African musicians, not just Senegalese or Malian musicians. But at the same time, we became musicians because we sing about all this nice harmony that make Africa this, West Africa, I can say, the Kingdom of Mali, the Futa Toro, the Jollof Kingdom, all of this it was really beautifully organized. And everyone know his own place, and the culture played a very good role to keep that for centuries. I think we should come back to that and to say we are coming from far away together, and the world is not finishing yet. We have to live in harmony together, but let's bring back these proverbs, all these songs, all these lessons through the culture to make people understand that we are the same peoples. We are the same people. It's the same communities that have been there since thousands of years. That's the lesson we have to send to the next generation.
I read about how Nelson Mandela told you about the importance of your music. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, it was good from someone like Nelson Mandela, with all what he represents for the humanity, and especially for the African continent, and to turn his head to a Senegalese musician and to say, never forget about the impact of your music. Your lesson, your music can arrive in living rooms, in schools, in military camps, in everywhere, much easier than the voice of the politicians. And you should use that to show people that we are all the same, and to build something that brings peace to people, because it's all about peace. My grandfather used to tell me, without peace, there is no development. Without peace, there is no health. Without peace, there is no achievements for good things to give back to your children or grandchildren.
Can we go back to your childhood and tell me about your childhood? Because you shouldn't have been a musician, should you?
I was not supposed to. According to the organization, the social organization of my community, because when I was growing up, the caste system was so strong. You are a fisherman, all your family, generation after generation, this is what they have to do. You are a griot, like Mansour Sek, my friend. You are a griot. You have to go to entertain people, to give advice to different families when they are in fight. You have to tell the stories where we come from. That's exactly, and you are being, you are paid by these people. They give you horses or land or gold or whatever, but you stay there in one place. So it wasn't easy for me just to convince my dad first, and his friends who was coming to tell him, your son is doing very good at the school, and you are letting him to sing, and music is not something that's going to pay him in the future, and he's not supposed to be a musician. So it was not easy, but at the same time, my support was my mother. Women sing in Africa. That's the only way when they have pain, when they want to say things, when they want to talk about their loved ones or some people from their family who are traveling far away. They sending their love to them. They sing naturally when they make the food, when they make the millet pounding, or when they wash their clothes. They sing all the time. My mother was a good singer, and she wrote a lot of songs that I have even some in my repertoire. And she, underneath of all these problems I had to be a musician, she was supporting. She was wishing that maybe what I can't do like a woman, because a woman was not allowed to go to travel to perform in front of people far away from where they was from. She was wishing that her son sometime will do that in Senegal and maybe travel with the music.
And what did your father think?
My father was convinced when he listened to one of my songs, and I was singing about that particular spiritual leader I talked about, Sheikh Omar, and he said to me, if it's a serious messages like this or important messages that someone of my generation can listen and appreciate, if this is the kind of music you want to do, I'm with you. If you are not respecting that, I'm not with you. I said that, I promise I will be really serious when I take my paper and try to write the song. It will be something that everyone else can listen and take something from it. Not just to enjoy the music, but also to learn something from it.
So this was the guiding force from the very beginning?
Yes. That's the guiding force. So I have to respect it, and I think this led me to all my engagement to some other issues.
And was your childhood religious?
Yeah, my father was a musician and also had a very beautiful voice.
So he would sing the call to prayer?
He called to prayer early in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and people will in the day say, wow, Baaba Maal, his name, have a very beautiful voice. I was fascinated by that voice. Sometimes I wake up very early in the morning before I go to school just to listen to his voice. I like his voice. I think it did have an impact on me when I started to sing.
Can you explain why Senegal has produced so many interesting musicians who've been so influential around the world, not just in West Africa?
Yeah, all around the world, I can say, because I think it's the open mind of the Senegalese people, and the fact that culture is very strong in Senegal, but the open mind of it makes us to appreciate any kind of music that comes to us. Remember, the Indian movies was really, really, really powerful in Senegal. All the cinemas was playing was India's movies, but not because of the performance of the actors, but also mostly because of the music. And people loved to go to make some Indian ballets, even they have never been to India, for example, and people will come to pay money just to see them and to listen to them sing. They even don't understand anything about the language, but they love the music. And then after that, it was Cuban music, and then reggae music. But there is something. When music comes to Senegalese people, we take it and we twist it and we make it Senegalese with a Senegalese flavor, Senegalese spices, Senegalese excitement that even can. I was saying sometimes that Orchestra Aragon, when they came to Senegal, I listened to Orchestra Baaba playing the Cuban music. They was saying, wow, how these people can take this music and make it like it's there. I've never been away from Senegal. And this is why I think Senegal is really, really appreciated in the music, but also the geographic position of Senegal on the continent is open to the rest of the world.
Close to Europe, close to Africa, yeah.
Close to Latin America, straight away to the States, to North America, and music was coming to us, and we absorbed it.
but in the cold light I live to love and adore you. It's all that I have. It's all that I have in the cold light.
How have you worked out or chosen or discovered the musicians that you would work with from other musical cultures?
I'm a nomadic person because I come from the Fulanis. I don't want to stay in one place. I wanted since my young age to be a little adventure, and we did that with Mansour. With some other friends. We went in more than 200, 300 places in West Africa in 2 years, just in a journey, an adventure, just to learn to meet people. And I met a lot of good musicians down there, a lot of musicologues also, a lot of old people who just give us advices about music and teach us. When you want to be African musicians, you need to know about the instruments. When you write a song about this particular message, you need to put this instrument and this instrument together. If you put different instruments, the message will not arrive. You have to know the personality of the instrument. Every instrument in West Africa has its own personality. So you learn that from everywhere. So it did open my soul to be someone who's liberated from all the channels, just to say this is how you make music, this is how you write songs, this having. I was very open, and when I start to travel in the world, I come to London, I buy cassettes where I listen to Celtic music, to Indian music, to other stuff of music, and I start to appreciate different people. And when I get chance to meet them, I say, why don't we sit down and write songs? Or people, when they invite me, I go to do that. But at the same time, it's not something new in African music. There is a proverb in Senegal which says, a good singer or a good musician would be the one who would hear about someone else far away from his country or his hometown, and will take a journey for 3 days, 4 days, 1 week, and go to visit, spend some time with them. In the night, you will sit down and you write songs together. And these songs start to be very popular because it don't belong to you, it belongs to the community. So it was not new for me just to go to find people and to work with. This is in our DNA.
So when you say it's in your DNA and you say you're nomadic, do you believe that this is instinct? That you're driven by that?
Yeah. And it leads me to being, maybe I had some struggle to convince myself this is a good way to do music, because you are a musician. At the end of the day, you are from Senegal, you are from Africa, but you are just a musician. And musicians should appreciate each other, Someone play guitar, or someone sing, is from Latin America or Asia or Australia. If it touch you, you really want to meet the person, and you want to sit down. Maybe not just to make a record, but just sit down to play music together.
But within your nomadic existence, you always return home.
It's all nomadic do. It's like a bird. You go, you love to travel, you want to travel, you want to go away, but you always want to go back at the starting point of your life. This is all nomadic people do. This is why in the Sahel, for example, all the Fulanis, they did travel from east to west, not to go from east to west and to stay at the west, but they go back to the east. They travel all the time with the animals, going for where there is water, where there is grass, where there is a big market to sell things, to take knowledge and to take it to some other communities, and then come back. They come and go from thousands of years. It's nomadic people. You have the starting point, but you never go for forever. You always come back.
Musically, do you think Being, the new album, is a return home?
Exactly. It's a return home, And I say, pick up just one of the songs, Casamance Night. I'm not, Casamance is a place that I really like in Senegal. And I wish peace to happen more and more down there. But the way that this song stretched with no restriction, it's just a chord, it's just the sound of the desert, it's just a cello coming sometimes, it's just the voice, how it's built, it's just floating till it could have been 20 minutes long, you know. If you, it's just the only, that's the way we was making music all night, for example. At this, when we were starting to make music, we didn't have any restriction, not 3 minutes song, not 4 minutes, not 5, it's just till when you know, now you say all the things you want to say on the top of these melodies or this rhythm. So I think Being came back to that way of writing. There was no rush in making Being.
So I think I understand now a little bit about why you tackle serious subjects and where you come from, and why this has happened in your life. How then do you choose the subjects that you want to focus on now? What is, when your father said you must be serious, what is it that you now want to be serious about in terms of the issues that you want to address?
The first thing is I want Africa to give to the new generation a good education system on the top of a good health system, because without health, I don't think someone can pretend to be developed. So people need to be healthy, especially the young ones. But the education, I think, can avoid to the young generation to pass through all the turbulences that my generation or the older generation or the generation after me did pass through in Africa. Because when you have a good education system, you can understand by yourself how to stand up when things are happening for you or for your community or country. That's the first thing. But also to bring back dignity to people. It's not, for me, it's not a fatality when people talk about climate change, what we have to do, what we're going to do in Africa. We have lands, we have water, we have big rivers like Senegalese River, Niger River, and we have strong hands from the women to the young people, and we have the sun. You know, everyone is talking about sustainable living. We have all these little elements that can help us to achieve that, to achieve a really decent way of living, taking care about your children, doing the work in the agriculture that you want to do, to have some goods from it, and to feed your family. And when it comes to politics, you say, rise up your voice and to say your point of view. You get back your dignity, not to follow the politicians or to be twisted by some other people, you know. And for that, I want to participate because my community, my hometown, they gave me a lot and gave me a lot of support also. To organize things, organize concerts, my festival, the Blues of the River. They all come to participate. What can I give to them? Is to take the opportunity that the world is giving to me and to see where I can come with them, to be an example for them, for the young people in agriculture, in fishing, in culture, music in general, and to say, hey, you can make it like me.
At the moment, do you feel that the impact of climate change and desertification, because there are whole regions in the Sahel now where people can't live and can't make a sustainable life, that is happening more quickly than education is giving people the tools to respond?
Yeah, but the education, the lack of education, I think it's more because of, yes, impact of climate change, people have to move. Yes, because of desertification, but it's also because of conflicts. This is why politicians should be more strong about finding peace and harmony between people in this region of Sahel. And also the rest of the world, because the Sahel is an important place of the world. It's not just for Africa, but for the world, because even long time ago, all the knowledge that people got from the West, before they come to the south of Africa, they have to cross the Sahel. And many things have been exchanged between people who was traveling into the Sahel,
Your message, though, goes beyond your music. You now have a foundation as well. Why have you started this? What's its purpose?
It wasn't a revolt, but it was something like that, because I went to the G8 summit with a letter from some NGOs some time ago in Ireland, and give it to David Cameron, for example. He received us, and we was talking that we need the support of the G8 to push the African leaders, the African governments, to make more effort in agriculture and things that have been owned by the population. And when I came back home, I say, I'm doing it for many other NGOs. Why can't I have my own thing here? And to count on people who like my music, or people who really want to do things with Africa, like friends or people who want to invest in Africa in a good way, just to be able to be making it happen. So I said, what concerned me, like someone who comes from the north, is much more the agriculture, fishing, and cattling, and all through culture and access to technology to make a difference, because we're living in a modern way. So it ended up to be, when I choose the initials of these goals, agriculture, fishing, and etc., it ended up to be Nanka in my Fulani language. People come to me sometimes, they say, why you said it in Fulani? I say, yes, I said in Fulani. Fulani is international language. When it's spoken in more than 17 countries, for me it's international, it's not national. So, but I didn't regret it, because when I first bring it, a lot of people say, yes, this is very good. You have been inspiring us for 30 years or more with your music. Now you are bringing this foundation, and you are even coming into the field with your shows and go to plant onion and things. Why can't we do that, especially the young ones? Why are we going to go to take boats to go to Spain? We can't stay here. We have the land. We have the water. We can't do that. I wanted to be an example for my people, to say to them, we can make it. We have everything to make it happen.
So what is the aim of Nanka?
The aim of Nanka is to give to many people who own their lands to be able to do things without going away, staying at home. And if they have to go away, maybe it will be for holiday to some other cities or to the West. But for the work, you stay down there, because many people are going away, and inside of their heart and their soul, they don't want to go. They are forced to go because nothing else is there. But if you give them the opportunity to do something, they will do. And if you say to the young people, stop to be immigrants, or stop to be going to Europe, or stop to do it, you have to give them something also to do. Otherwise, they will say, what are we going to do here without anything in our hand? So it's just my way to participate.
And what do you think is the key technology that is most important for that? Because you're involved in solar power.
Yes. The key technology, like you say, is to use the solar irrigation to go away from spoiling our environments. We all want to be living in green places, but clean places also. And I think it has to be applied more in Africa than anywhere else, because we have all the condiments to make it happen. And the slogan we have, not this last Bluesy Fleur, but the one before it, Africa clean, Africa green. And of that, you have to choose solar panels.
So what you're doing is very much ground up with the people.
Yes,
but you've talked about the difficulties of politics and of war. How about Baaba Maal for president?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't see myself being a president. Who knows? Life is full of surprises, and just if you think being, you let it be. If it have to happen, it have to happen. But right now, I think I'm much more comfortable of being a singer who have the ability, who have the opportunity also to do things like Nanka with the people. It's easier in that way to come to people, to talk to them, to build something together and to achieve things.
Do you have any sense of how you make politics better in your country? Because people are thinking this all over the world, you know, not just in
but
the Sahel.
I think we are musicians and we are, in a way, saying things that make politicians to take care about what we're talking about and try to do good things for our nations. And any piece of song, even if it's a song just for love, have a political impact. And when it gets popular in Africa, people apply it in their daily life. And this is where I think we are, in a way, politicians in our own way. People are doing all their best when it comes to in campaign, during the campaign season, to have the musicians with them, to have them on the side with them, because they know the impact of the musicians on the music the musicians are delivering into the heart or into the houses or into the of the population.
So do they try and get you to endorse them?
They always do. Some of them are my friends. Some of them are understand what they're doing. Some of them I don't appreciate what they're doing, but they're politicians.
I mean, I want to come back to what I said right at the beginning, which is that for a lot of people listening in this country, you don't know what the words are, but there is an emotional reaction to that music. There's something in it, I don't know what it is, that connects.
I know a little bit why, because we don't consider the industry. I respect the industry because we have to sell the music. But when we go to write the songs, when we go into the studio to record this music, we don't think about how many views or CDs or cassettes we're gonna get. We just wanted to make music that goes from our soul, our heart, our mind, and to talk to someone else, even if it's two people who appreciate the music, it's fine. It's a music. It's just we want to say things in the way of saying it. It's through the music. So we don't. It's no pretension. It's just something that comes from the soul and go to some other people. It's like this moment that we have, Mansour said, me and the other friends in the middle of a house, and after the dinner, we are friends, we are families, we pick up the guitars, we play music all night, and we talk in the music, we talk about issues, and people record it in cassettes, and they have the cassettes, they travel with the cassettes, and they are very connected to this cassette, because in the cassette you can't hear the goat, or the cock chanting, or the woman making the millet pounding. It's all part of the music. This is the kind of feeling that we try to have when we go into the studio. When we can, again, I come into this song, Kazama's Night. You hear all the crickets, all everything. When I was recording it, I was standing up in the middle of the islands of Salum. The door was open. It was 7 to 8 in the night. It was starting to be dark. I have the microphone. I was facing the water which was surrounding me, and the crickets were chanting, and I had the music in my ears, and I was singing, just naturally. And that's it. All the other pieces that came in, it's just in the studio that Johan Albert did. So, and this is how we used to write music, how you used to play music in Africa. And this is the kind of music, the kind of feeling that we want to share with the rest of the world, to bring peace, to know that we are all the same, we are all the same.
Finally, if you could change the world in any way, what would you do?
I will listen much more to the young people, give them more opportunity to bring out what they have in their mind, in their heart, because the world is heading to its future, and they are the future. And we need to give them more opportunity to say what kind of future they want. And I remember my dad was really, I want to thank him for, when you get a little bit of money at the end of the month, you are comfortable in Africa, you call your family. You sit down with your children, you talk to them about yourself. They need to know who you are. And you exchange with them about your thought of life and your experiences. And you listen to them to try to know where they want to go. If they need your support, you give them your support. My dad used to do that. This is why my family, the big family I'm talking about, we are many brothers and sisters. We are always in harmony together. We are always tied up because my father make this happen. And I think the young people on this planet are our family. We need to listen to them and to give them opportunities to be.
Baaba Maal, thank you very much indeed. It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you.